Hello, my name is Jeanette Ortiz.
I'm Celia Liang.
I'm Kelsey Hill.
And I'm Lebel, and this is Lila.
We are the...
We're nothing. We're going to talk about the fourth branch, immortal technique. So, obviously, this is definitely a critique. As we talked about in class, the MC is a witness, bearing witness to the crimes that are going on within the song. We're not going to go through that ridiculously long list. But specifically, I want to talk about the line where he says that the thing about, like, you hang a flag in the window, but then the cops are coming and, like, getting everybody, basically. And it's just talking about the whole idea that you're so patriotic to a country that isn't whatever the opposite of patriotic. Like, your country being patriotic for you. They aren't doing that. Your country doesn't give a shit about you, yet you are just, like, all about America. And like, that's something that, like, you know, I can think about that today. Like, cops. Like, you're like, you know, cops are great. They, like, save us and all these awesome things. But, for instance, if you get your purse stolen, and I know this from experience, the cops will do nothing. And they will tell you, we're not going to do anything. Unless you know who stole it and where they are, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to write a police report. And so that idea, referencing it back to the work, is just this, or to that point of being patriotic for a country that doesn't do anything for you, or that isn't as great as you make it out to be or think it to be, is one, wholly depressing, and two, wholly upsetting, and just stupid on so many levels. And I like that he brought that to light in his song, The Fourth Branch.
Yeah, going off of that, like, which is a really good point, is that, like, in this song it says the government wants us to settle, and this kind of goes into, like, the idea of, like, conformity, that, like, people who can't really do anything about the oppression will just kind of conform. Immortal Techniques is, why don't you hang a flag out the window? And in this, we can't really stop nuclearism or genocide or weapons contracts, so we might as well just stand with the media and stand with the government and take in the lies. But the witness here says, I won't trade humanity for patriotism. So, yeah.
And also, there's a few lines on here that say, fighting for freedom and fighting terror, but what's reality? Read about the history of the place that we live in and stop letting corporate news tell lies to your children. It's like the older generation knows what's been going on. We've all lived through it. And yet the media is pretty much targeting the children because they're pretty much just fresh. They're still innocent, and they think that, like, they could brainwash them. And it's like, then later on he goes and saying, you don't give a fuck about us. I can see through your facade. Facade. Like a fallen angel standing in the presence of God. Bitch nigga scared of the truth when it looks at you hard. It's like, you can be taught all these things, and you can go on and believing that, you know, this, whatever is told to you from the media is true, but then once you're face to face with the truth, it's like a whole different story that you didn't expect. And like Ami was saying, it's like, you're like in the media, like, let's say cops, they go after the bad guys and they'll find them or whatnot, but yet once we're doing it, or once it happens to us, it's like, okay, where's the cops? Like, they're helpless. Well, in some cases they are, but pretty much it's just...
Wait, who's helpless? Bullshit. That was kind of unclear.
The cops.
Oh, the cops are...
Like, they can't
they don't
do
help.
anything.
They don't help.
They have no power, basically. I was gonna build off the media thing. It says, of course, in the chorus, it says, they're teaching children through media about, or they're trying to lead the children to think a certain way. And then in the last part it says, so shut the fuck up, you mindless drone, and a machine shouldn't speak for men. when these same media outfits are spending millions of dollars on a PR campaign to try to convince you they're fair and balanced. Like, it's all just the work of the government. Like, they spend all this money to make you think a certain way, and like, everybody watches like TV nowadays, and like they see all the news and everything, so there's really no way to get around it, and so that way everybody sees it and just goes with it, and so you can't really get away from this oppressor, which is the government in this case.
I would want to point out, like, the whole idea of the fourth branch being the media, just that fact. Fourth branch is the media. There's only 3 branches of government, and not this song. And the media being its whole own branch is such a huge amount of power for it to have. And obviously, assuming that he didn't amend the Bill of Rights, like, they'd go unchecked and all that shit, too. Because they aren't really part of the government. Not that the government's very much checked anyway. And on to the next one. Bullet.
No.
Why from
Why.
Jaquez.
By Jaquez.
So as we talked about in class, the MC is a challenger in in the song, because they ask the question why, which is completely not obvious that they're doing so in this song, because that's not like the number one word repeated throughout the entire song. But that is interesting. Like, I personally don't listen to a lot of rap or hip hop music, so to notice that shift of, like, they're not just talking about what the problem is, they're saying, why is it a problem? Like, why does it matter? Like, like, they want to know. They want to know why such a devastating inequality exists. They don't just want to say, oh, like, our life is so bad, and this is why it's bad. They want to say, okay, well, why does that make it bad? How can we fix it? Okay, that might not be what they're doing in this song, but, yeah, I just love that shift. And someone else can start talking while I...
And, like, also to connect from, like, the previous song, how it says, why did they let the Terminator win the election? Obviously, it comes from the media. I mean, well, apparently there, well, obviously they're talking about the Terminator, well, Arnold, or whatnot, and, like, I remember him, like, for movies, and he's as an actor, but now he's in he's part of the political system, you know, so it's like the media, political system, the fourth branch, just kind of thought it
all related.
Yeah.
Like, what I drew out of it a lot was that, you know, why are you even alive, and why is kind of the utmost form of civil disobedience, like Thoreau talks about, because, you know, we're not going to take it, and he's not a thug by choice. All of these things, the risk that he has to take, and everything that he's witnessing, he shouldn't have to deal with in a perfect society. And so asking why and pushing forward that, you know, life doesn't make sense, and they got me in the system, they got me on the highway. I think that's kind of the ultimate challenger.
I don't know, what I got out of this was the why part hit me hard too. Like, I don't know, there's questions for everything. Like, you can question why for anything, and like you don't always get an answer when you do ask the question why. Like, and it also relates to the whole media and government thing. Like, everything they put on the media is not real, and even if you ask why, you might not get the answer. So I don't know, it kind of like goes into the song where there's just so many questions, but you can't always get an answer.
Yeah, I think that it's just important to ask. It's a really good point that you don't get an answer often.
It's interesting because, like, that's not the last, it is the last line of the song, other than the chorus. He's like, because I got all my, and you know why they made the new 20s because I got all my old ones. That's why. Like, so it's almost like he's searching for this answer and, like, he can't find one for all of the other, like, misgivings and, like, inequalities and oppression, all the other shit that he's bitching about, basically, or calling attention to and saying, like, why is this such a problem? Why is it going on? That he comes up with something that he does have an answer to. Maybe it was just, like, to make the song feel more well-grounded. Did anyone else find in the song, like, that he was saying, like, don't, like, in any, because, like, I'm thinking about the Thoreau reading, or not the reading, but, like, how she was talking about Thoreau and, like, on, like, his essay on civil disobedience. Like, I don't notice anything in this song where he's saying, like, okay, so don't even participate in the government, or, like, anything that could, like, be somewhat like that. Is anyone else noticing that? Am I just, like, missing it?
I think what she covered, like, they got me in the system, why they gotta do me like that?
Or, like, they stopped letting bros get degrees in jail. Like, they literally are taking every possible measure to, like, not let people who know, like, I hate to say know the hood, but, like...
Oh, no, wait, I think you guys are misunderstanding
stuff to get on the other side of the looking glass.
I think you're misunderstanding my question. I'm saying, like, is he in any way saying, alright, we don't know why on all these things, but because it's wrong, let's do something to stop it from continuing by saying, this is unjust, so we're not going to participate in it at all.
So not, like, standing up to oppression, basically. I think that's
yeah.
what
I don't see
Yeah,
I didn't notice it either. I just want to make sure. I would like to point out that it says, why you screaming? It's like it's a slug. It's only the hawk. And we're slugs.
I think
and at my JC was the Hawks, so that's funny.
I think this song won a Grammy, actually.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Alright, next song.
Yeah.
Trail of Lies by Jedi Mind Tricks. Someone else want to start off this time?
So,
Song's about pressure.
About pressure through the media, that's what I took out of it. It's like little girls, little boys, you know, they love TV. My son loves TV. And it's like they'll brainwash you at such a young age. And it says they're finding different ways to take your fucking soul from you. Show about a model, make your self-esteem low for you. Everything is fake. Trust me, no one's that lovely. I met a lot of famous people, and they're all fat and ugly. Mm-hmm. It's like, I mean, that was just, it's like...
It's talking about not only, like, the pressures that that we feel pressure, but, like, what those things that we feel pressure to conform are. Like, we feel pressure to go into for boys to go into the military, girls to look a certain way, act a certain way. So it's not just saying, like, oh, you guys feel pressure. It's like, this is what you feel pressure about. These things that the media is, like, throwing at all of you. Like, here's some really skinny girls, like, look, that's what you should look like. This is pretty. This is what men should do. They should have, or even, like, not only just to join the military because you have nothing else to do, but it's like, oh, I want to go to school. I have no other way to do it. Okay, it's basically like a draft in ghetto areas now because you get so much stuff. It's like a steady paycheck. You get to travel, which a lot of lower income people don't get to do, and you get to go to school on a basic, like, a free ride, right? It's a fucking free ride.
But they don't show you the downs.
Yeah, they don't. Well, obviously, you might die, but the point is like, yeah, you get all those things, but you might die. You might watch your best friend die. You're probably gonna have PTSD, all that stuff. But you ignore that because you're just trying to get out of your shitty situation. So it's not just like, oh, it's everyone has their choice because, you know, white boy from Yorba Linda, where I live, whose parents have a bunch of money, he doesn't need to go to the military to go to school and whatever. Another white boy from Anaheim staking in my area in Anaheim, he's not even, like, black, he's not in the ghetto, but I have so many friends who were from lower income families that went into the military, not because they love their country, not because they feel, like, very passionate about the war or anything like that, but because it's free school, or I can't get another job elsewhere, I'm getting kicked out, and that's my only choice. And it's ridiculous that that's still even a thing in this day and age. Like, it's not patriotism, it's forcing patriotism.
Yeah, I think that going off of that, like, these external pressures that are caused by social inequality or economic inequality or a lack of an education or whatever, lack of political representation, these external ones become internal. that, you know, when you're thrown Pretty Women or, like, patriotism or, like, whatever at you, it starts to change who you are, that when you see nothing but, you know, skinny women, that, you know, when you're alone and you don't have any magazines, the TV's not on, the laptop's closed, you still have these thoughts, that this trail of lies has literally changed the way we think.
Yeah, because it seeds itself into your mind, and it's you don't have to see that magazine. It's just in your head. Like, I need to be skinny.
They have like catchy little titles, like they're catchy pictures in the front. You know, like Kim
Kardashian.
Kardashian.
Yeah. And that, I think,
Who doesn't love gossip?
that goes back to the chorus, I guess you could say. The line, "In the land of make-believe, you are all mine." So it's basically saying how all this social media, everything that's out there, it's there to alter who you are, to control, make you think a certain way.
I keep saying magazines. Like, I don't even want to get into Twitter and fucking Instagram.
Tumblr.
Oh my god, let's not even... Well, Tumblr's cool.
Well,
Tumblr's
Fitz spoke on
like, we're not going to talk
bands.
about Tumblr. Tumblr's nice. Like,
What's the
Tumblr's
next
cool. The next song, World by Farside?
Yes.
Facade?
The faucet.
Whatever. I don't know. I don't get this.
Well, I like what the world needs is true
care,
expression. I think that, like, is a lot of what boils down to is that being a witness is kind of, you know, it has power, but being a witness can only really break ground on power if they express themselves.
Well, that's why he's not acting as a witness in the song. He's acting as a champion, or like a different word. He's acting as just like an all-star of the team of his people. He's the VIP.
Are you licking my leg?
I think that, like,
stop licking her leg.
I think that, like, on exploitation, like, because, I mean, maybe as, like, the witness, or having witness exploitation, he says, quote, "trying to milk me by the carton." He's like, in order to put a voice to that exploitation, he's got to recognize it. He's got to make other people recognize it.
And then also for this one, it's like I feel like he's just afraid, like, as a champion, right? That's what.
Yeah, he's a champion.
The champion, but then he's like, everybody I know is loading up rounds for protection, well-being, and safety. That's the only way that I feel like they can face the world and feel safe at the same time. You know, it's like using guns and to protect yourself, but that's not... There has to be something going on that you have to go to that extent, like, and use guns just for you to feel safe, you know?
Well, he's also in like the final stanza, I guess. He's talking about God a lot. Like, can't camouflage your grief from God's eyes. Luckily for us, the Creator sees clear. You know, ... moving onward. He says, where's the last line? And pray that the harvest brings what we will all need. So, like, the point, to me, it's kind of like he's saying this, like, all right, everybody, like, calm down. Let's put it in God's hands to a certain point. Like, so that's how he's being a champion. He's saying, okay, like, let me take control of the situation by saying we're out of control. And, like, saying, like, you know, we have to just wait and see what happens. Let's put it to God to a certain extent. I guess that's what I'm getting out of this. I could be wrong. Like I said, not a rock fan.
Like, throughout it all, just have faith.
Yeah.
And, like, we were talking about, or, you were talking about, was it guns?
Yeah.
And using it for protection. In the last verse, it says, "Do we believe that we're civilized, sophisticated, or advanced, so quick to draw blood if given a chance?" Like, when you relate that to, just pretend like any wild animal out there, like wolves, like, if they see competition, they're gonna go, like, fight to the death for, what they need and what they want, what they need to survive, basically. And so, we see ourselves as, like, higher beings, and, with higher, like we actually think, but in what he's saying here is, like, it's basically the same thing, like, you're just gonna use guns and stuff to kill someone if you have the chance.
Your competition.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So, like, that just says we're no better than any animal out there.
Okay, so I want to add to what I was saying. he, like, without skipping over lines, he does say for the last, is it 3 or 4 or 5 lines? It's 6. Okay, it's the same kind of love that could keep us afloat when we all realize we need the same boat. With our hands interlocked, we could carry the sun and bring forth the light where the damage was done. So let's do the rain dance and water the seeds and pray that the harvest brings what we all need. So to me that says, he's saying, let's water the seeds, let's plant the seeds, let's all do all this. But at the end of the day, like, the harvest is going to come and, like, we don't know, like, how much of it is going to be fruitful. So to me, like, the not knowing and, like, leaving it up to chance is him saying, like, leaving the rest up to God, like, but we're going to lay the groundwork. And he's like trying to join everyone together. He's saying we're all in the same boat. Like, let's realize that. Let's interlock our hands. Let's work together. And that's how he's acting like a champion. Because he's just, you know, he's saying, let's all work together. Come on, let's all, like, fix this. And it's like a speaker or a leader. Like, they don't, like, fix everything themselves. They obviously delegate certain things. But the point is that they're the one bringing everyone together. So that's how he's being a champion in the song,
and then
to me.
Like, from what you said, it's like, there was a point on here that said, the oppression can turn into freedom and autonomy, and I feel like that's what you pretty much described here in the last couple of lines. It's like, you become, like, oppression can, like, you want to get out of it, you know, like, you just want to, you want a better life, you want to,
Be free.
Yeah, be free, and you crave this freedom, and it's like she was saying, like, you'll get, you know, like, you don't know what you're gonna get out of, you don't know what'll be the outcome, but whatever it is, at the end, it's gonna be better than what you had before.
Mm-hmm. Alright, on to the next song.
Truth Decay by Public Enemy.
Can I just point out that the first line, truth decay, brush up on your facts, like,
brush your teeth.
Oh my god, hilarious. Tooth decay, brush up. Like, just, truth decay, brush up on your facts. Tooth decay, brush up. Just leave it there. Just think about it. Let it sink in. That's genius. I like it. But on to, like, actual important matters. So, obviously, this song is about the virtue of truth. And why truth is... Okay, that's not what it's about, but it is showing that aspect. It's a big part of it. And truth, as we talked about in class, is a way to resist oppression. Like, it's attempting not to participate when we're relating it back to, like, the whole Thoreau reading and him saying, like, basically, like, standing by and, like, paying your tax or doing whatever and, like, help, not, like, impeding, like, it's one thing to not impede, it's one thing to, like, help a government, facilitate the government to continue doing, like, evil things. It's another thing to just, like, not impede on what it's doing. Both are equally evil, but, like, he's saying, like, why are you participating in something that isn't right? So, this song is just pointing out, oh god, I'm sorry, I still have kind of sick brain. I completely forgot where I was going with that. Can anyone else take, where was I even?
Well, one thing.
Just take it somewhere else. Let me see if it comes back.
One thing that I found interesting is, you know, it says knowledge is power, but it ain't, which really speaks to the virtue of truth, because truth is a virtue. I think that knowing the truth is important, and truth-telling and truth-seeking is important, but in, you know, with the media and the government, knowledge can only go so far with the current justice system that, you know, check your facts. We're not really getting justice. She knows. She knows.
And to go off of what you said, it says, in this place full of lies, television telling lies to your vision and face, seems like more of us in prison than the workplace. Something's going on. Something's going on.
That's a good
one. It's like, okay, yeah, we pay attention. We look at, I mean, the media, it's like pretty, it's our fourth branch now, I guess. And it's just like, we're just, like, the information given to us, like, they know who they target. They know what to show and what channels, who watches it. Univision, Mexican people watch it. BET, mostly, you know, African American people watch it. Like, what's there, you know?
Oh, the dog.
Oh, I wanted to, another thing, I guess a quote that relates to what you're saying is, Let's see. I don't know which verse this is, but laugh at the facts like stupid ass jokes, or get lost in my own sauce. I check the source. I challenge information, trace it to the boss. Refuse to accept the truth. So like, you see, it's you know whose fault it is, but you don't want to accept it.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Nice.
It hasn't come back yet.
Alright, well, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, sorry. If it comes back
That
before
song
the end
is,
of
like,
this video.
The pun, like she said, like that pun says it all.
Well, yeah, it's just like, it's what you need. Like, you need to brush your teeth every day or they're going to fall out and they're going to decay. So you gotta, like, your truth is going to decay if you don't
you
brush
keep
it by
listening to
keeping...
the lies.
Well, no, like, if you don't brush it by,
Brush
like,
up your
like,
facts.
but, like, I'm saying, like, if you don't brush the decay off your teeth, off your truth, by knowing... Lila, stop! By knowing, like, your facts, by knowing what's going on, so that you can, like, assess whether something's true or not. Like, truth is being decayed because we don't know any better. I think that's where I was going.
That's why,
like,
that's why you read books and not Facebook status.
Oh,
Let's do
yeah.
that.
excuse me,
All
my
right.
Facebook statuses are very important.
Oh my
I talked about those coppers and how they do nothing today. Even though I didn't deal with cops today, so I don't know why it came to mind. But anyway, Rhyme Fest's Bullet.
Yeah, but
Featuring Citizen Cope, which is pretty much like one of like two people that I actually know that we've been talking about.
Really?
I have his one song, Pablo Picasso. Please talk about that next class if you watch this video, because I thought it was just about him wanting an unattainable, literally, like, woman on a billboard, and maybe there's more meanings, and I just don't want to think about it on my own, to be honest, because I like the song the way it is, without all the...
And for that one, I want to talk about like the first verse where he's talking about a man going into the army, and it's pretty much like you're taking bullets for a country that's really not going to do much to you, for you. You go in there not knowing what to expect. Like, I have a friend that went there. He was expecting, I think it was like $20,000 at the end. And he gets home, his mom's divorced, his wife's cheated on him, his sister has ran off, and it's like, like, what is, like, they don't tell you all that. They don't tell you how it can affect your family. They don't tell you how it can affect you mentally, especially. And it's like, you're defending this country, which is not even yours. You're not giving the rights, like, completely. You're not, yeah, this makes me mad.
I really liked, like, it says, like, said, like, we're made for more, but we die for less. That, like,
That's a great line.
Yeah, everybody knows, kindergarten, they teach you you're a snowflake, like, you're great, you're unique, you can be the president, and then as you get older, we just put more societal expectation and less, like, personal expectation on ourselves, and we know that we can do greatness, but because of all, like, the things that, the external forces that we're oppressed by, we die for less, and in terms of military, HIV, or the game, they literally die for less.
Military HIV, the fuck? The fuck?
Military and HIV?
No, I like point, like, military, point, HIV,
Yeah.
point, the game.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
there's a militarized HIV? Like, what? There's an
That would
HIV
be
that's
terrible.
going around the military? Like,
I
what
mean,
are you talking
there's
about?
that conspiracy theory that the government put it, the government introduced crack and the government introduced AIDS.
If the government, that's just
for
dumb.
AIDS
Like,
is
if they
that
did that,
Area
they're just
51.
fucking idiots.
Well,
They are anyway. I'd like to point out, like, this whole, like, okay, like, what was it? Made for more, die for less. And this whole idea of going into the military and, you think you're going to come out like this better person. Your life's going to be better. You're doing it to better your life. Like, what I was talking about in that other song. Like, that's what kids are trying to do. The ones I know, anyway. But you end up, it's not just about literally dying for less. It's a point of, like, just... The U.S. itself is made for more. It has this grandeur. Like, we are the best country on earth. And not to, like... Or actually, to go on to the point of that Newsroom clip that is flying all over the internet. Newsroom, the HBO show, or something show.
It's such a great show.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. I've never watched the show, but I watched this clip. And I guess the main guy, he's talking to, like, a bunch of college students. And they're talking about, America, the greatest country on earth. And he just tells it to him, like, straight out. He's like, America is not the greatest fucking country on earth.
The one with, like, the panel?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, it's the first
Okay,
show.
stop talking about it. Shh. We you out of time. But the point is he says, we are not the greatest country on earth. We maybe used to be when we all actually did hard work. Our forefathers built this great, like, huge, wonderful, colossal giant of a fucking country, and we fucking ruined it with laziness, with just being idiots, with corruption, like, with our money problems. We basically are owned by China. Like, and so I'm taking it a little bit away from, like, the literal translation of the words, but America is made for more. We're supposed to be made of more. We're supposed to be stronger. We're supposed to be smarter. We're supposed to be more sympathetic, more empathetic, more everything-etic. And we're not. And because of that, we're dying for a country that is less than what we talk about it being. We talk about it being so great, but I think deep down, all of us rational, logical people know America isn't the greatest country in the world anymore. But it should be, and it can be. And the point is if we started working our asses off, like our forefathers that made this fucking country, then maybe it would be. And maybe our kids actually would be going to the military, because maybe he could get into Harvard, but the point is he loves his fucking country and he wants to fucking help any way he can. And that's why people should be joining it. Not because, they want free scholarships, and not even scholarships, free schooling. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll finish this off because I haven't said anything yet, but, with all that, I guess I'll just wrap up with, like, I feel like America is, or the U.S. is, a lot of our decisions and our actions are based off of like the economy, basically. So all we want is more money, and we don't really come together as a nation like because we are for like nationalism or something. So yeah, going back to the chorus, it says, now what you've done here is put yourself between a bullet and a target, and it won't be long before you're pulling yourself away. So like, you put yourself in a place where you think, like if you join the military, you're looking for a steady foundation, like for money, for your family and all that, but then you don't even know what you're getting into, basically. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Wait, I do want to point out, like, the last bit on here. It says, this ain't a game, this is an organized movement. My hurt, my love, my pain, my stress, my strife, my wife, my life, my test. We made for more, we die for less. When you starve in the ghetto, I'ma write the rest. See my girl, think I'm hard, and my mama think I'm hard. To me, like, I'm taking that back to the whole military thing, is he's not just doing it to get schooling or whatever other reasons other than loving his country that he's doing it, but it's to feel like a man, that masculinity, like, to feel like, look, like, she thinks I'm hard, like, my mom, my like, woman, like, the two big people in a man's life are gonna say, look, he can be a protector, he can fill all those, like, gender roles that he's supposed to fill, all from, like, going to the military. Because think about it, they're making the money, they're learning stuff, they're furthering their education, they're being a man, they're being masculine, they're being protective, and they're fighting for their country. Like, that's like a fucking down-home fucking man, like, right there. So, just had to throw that in. Next fucking song.
That's the last one?
Sorry we're cussing a lot this time. This is the last one, yeah. Salt and Pepper. None of your business.
Bye.
We have, like, 2 minutes, so go.
Alright.
So we go.
I'll go. This whole song by Salt and Pepper, like, it's all about, like, gender expectations, double standards, fucking, what's the other thing? Not double standards, oppression.
Participating in oppression.
Yeah, it's, like, don't call her a whore because she's a hooker, like, what was the other part of it? Or something else. Throw in, like, everyone just keep fucking talking at this point, like, or not keep talking over each other, but...
You want to, wait, no, that's not the part.
I treat a man like he treats me. The difference between a hooker and a hoe ain't nothing but a fee.
Yeah.
Wish you could be like me. You're popping all that mess only to stress and to spite me. Now you can get with that or you can get with this, but I don't give a shit because really it's none of your business.
Yeah, and she's trying to push the point that it's not anyone else's business what she's doing, which it isn't. But at the same time, by what was the phrasing? What was the way that you phrased it? The oppression.
The oppressed participating in oppression.
So, like, by saying, like, it's none of your business, it's also, because if we're going down to, like, the bare minimum of what oppression is, it's stopping someone from doing something else. So, she's still stopping this person from forming an opinion, from forming a thought, from like, that could have been her own. Like, maybe she would have came to the same fucking opinion as you, and we're assuming that she doesn't already know her opinion, which she does in the song. But that's my point, is she's actually kind of oppressing the person she's talking to. But she's trying to stop her from oppression. But she is, in fact, oppressing her from her oppression. Oppression is a fucking circle.
I just want to talk about, like, double standards really quick. That, like, you know, you give power inherently to the oppressed or the sub-oppressors by recognizing this relationship that's happening. And this song really, like, by naming a double standard, by putting words to it, I think that this is really, like, a really applicable truth-telling song, especially for us all being women.
Yeah.
So...
But also, like, the fact that the double standard is this, like, ridiculously, like, it's going from, like, you know, wanting to just have casual sex, pretty much, to, like, being a hooker. And that's a bit of a fucking leap. I don't think most of us, like, have done both of those things. Personally, I've never had fucking casual sex. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna judge. I don't want to... Lila, if Lila has casual sex, I'm sure you have so much casual sex, you stupid slut. But see right there? I was trying to be funny, but I oppressed her. I made her a thing. I called her a slut. Like, that's not okay.
We use these words, like, and even, like, you know, I call you, like, a pussy or a sissy girl, like, you run like a girl, like, all these, they're all derived from being feminine, like, and we use them still.
Even, like if I'm like, Lila, you're such a bitch. God, I love you, bitch. Like, and I'm saying it in a nice... Okay, the second one was in a nice way. Like, you're a bitch, but I love you so much. It's still calling her a derogatory term that offends other people.
She's a female dog, though. I'd like to know.
I know. Like, we're assuming that Lila's a person because they don't want to offend anyone else and, like, call them out. Say, like, they're having casual sex. Like, let's not put that on the internet. But it's just a point of... these words have become so meaningless. Like, I want to relate it back to, like, you know, the word fag. Like, I will use fag very rarely, but when I do, I sure as hell am not talking about gay guys or gay people or a pile of sticks, for that matter. I'm talking about someone who's a fucking prick or, like, pathetic or a douchebag. But the fact of the matter is I'm using a word that was used to call someone to, like, used as a, you know, fucking name for gay people. So, even though that isn't, like, usually what they're called anymore, it used to be what they're called, and to make that name, like, it's like, my name is Ami, and that becomes Ami, when you, oh, you're such an Ami, like, it's saying, like, you're a fucking control freak, and you're a dumb, crazy, skanky-ass bitch. Well, that's still my fucking name, so even if I'm dead, or I started going by a different name, you're still turning something that used to mean me, used to identify me as a person, as a negative thing, as something that's bad, as fag meaning a prick or a control freak. You're turning my name into a fucking slur. Like, and that's not okay. But the thing is that slur becomes so commonplace that it's like, who cares if I say bitch? Who cares if I say slut or cunt? Like, I love the word cunt, but I have a friend who her brother used to say cunt to her all the time, so she gets super mad about it. I've said it twice already in this video, but it's just such a harsh C and a harsh T. It's fun to hear and say. I don't know. But the point is I'm not offended by it, but someone else could be. And so, like, to just say it willy-nilly, like, it really says something about our society and our lack of empathy and lack of being aware of other people's fucking feelings.
Of the truth.
And the truth, which is a virtue. And we're so over the time slot, but I hope this video was entertaining enough that
we're gonna
you
go.
Don't care. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Lila, press the button. Bye. Press the button. You can't see it, but